Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today's reading is titled, What Are Your Past Life Patterns? This is a very special reading because I am a firm believer of reincarnation, and I believe that we take unfinished business into the next life so that we can heal it and fully integrate it within our souls. Moving on to the piles, I have three for you to choose from. And before you make your selection, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. So go ahead and pick your piles. I'm going to give you a few seconds and then we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number one. Alrighty, we're going to get started with pile number one. So if you chose pile number one, this is going to be your reading. Pile number one. We're going to be looking at your past life patterns, and guess what? I have some channeled messages we're going to read at the end, but we're not just going to be looking at what patterns you have from a past life. We're also going to be looking at like what you did in the themes in that past life so that you better understand why you have certain patterns, okay? So the first card that we have is intensity. So this lets me know that in a past life, you felt your emotions very deeply. I feel like you felt emotions so strongly that you felt like you couldn't turn them off. So you put it into art or literature. So in your past life, you could have been a writer, you could have been an artist. And it's like there's something about you being silenced, though. So you could have lived in a time period where your writing or your art reflected the times. So there's something about some form of oppression. Living in a society where people are oppressed and you wrote about it or you made some type of art about it, and you could have experienced like repercussions, especially if you were living under a dictatorship. I'm strongly picking that up. Like somebody lived under a dictatorship and it was like you were basically an activist, pile number one. Like you seen things that were wrong. You saw how people were being mistreated. It's like you lived like during the time period of when like churches were very powerful. It's something about the Catholic Church for you, pile number one. And they were very powerful. It's something about religion as well. Okay, take what resonates, but you lived during the time period where you just felt a lot and you could have felt like you were different. You could have felt like an oddball because it seems that everybody else was just so accustomed to it or used to it, but it bothered you. It's like in your past life, injustice, and it bothered you. And I feel like you may still have that energy in this lifetime. And remember that patterns from our past life can be both positive and negative, and I'm really picking up that this was something positive. So if you find yourself concerned about the welfare of other people, that comes from your past life. So if you work in like social services or like human resources, or if you find yourself drawn to things like humanities and art, it's because that was in your past life. So you felt your emotions very, very strongly, and you expressed it, and you could have been silenced, because I find myself wanting to say stuff and then I pause. So there was some type of repercussion, pile number one. You may find yourself hesitant to speak up about things or use your voice in a way that you enjoy. Oh my goodness, is that a red cardinal outside my window? Yeah. So pile number one, a red cardinal could be significant for you because it just flew by the window and landed in this tree. Okay, so let's see. What past life patterns, pile number one, have you brought into this life? All right, so with the next card here, we have nature. So that makes sense why we saw that red cardinal. You were connected to nature. You could have been like a medicine man, a medicine woman, an herbalist. So that also could have been a reason why you were silenced or restricted, because maybe you were living during a time when the pharmaceutical industry was beginning. And you know how people try to rule out traditional medicine? You could have experienced something like that where people shut down something you were doing that was actually healing and helping other people. Then we have divine timing. So in your past life, I feel that you could have been impatient, or you moved on your time instead of on God's time, so it just wasn't in alignment. Yeah, and I feel like there was something that you were recognized for later in life, in your past life. There was something that you were recognized for a little bit later, because there's something about a delay, experiencing a delay, but things happening for you in divine timing. So you could have been impatient and you wanted certain things to happen when you wanted it to, and you didn't embrace divine timing in your past life. So you could experience that now, where you try to do things when you want to do it instead of honoring where you are. Okay. The next card that we have for you, I'm sorry, I have these in a certain order. I'm trying to get it back in that order. Give me just a second. Alrighty, fixed it. The next card we have is Mercury. So you definitely expressed yourself through some form of communication, whether this was writing, whether you were making music, because it makes me think about Billie Holiday when she made that song called Strange Fruit. And that song was reflecting the oppression of people of color and how they were being treated and how they were being lynched. So you could have brought awareness to the way people were treated from a systemic standpoint, pal number one. And it's, yeah, you could have made music in your past life as well. So you may find yourself inclined to music and making music that uplifts people. And I'm hearing Michael Jackson's song when he was like, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. So again, you were doing something in terms of helping people who were oppressed, working with people who were marginalized, or using your voice to stand up for other people. That's what you did in your past life, pal number one. You may find yourself drawn to that now, like the Me Too movement, or just movements that expose the darkness and the ills of society. That's what you did in your past life. It's like you want, with the Pluto card, it's like you were trying to make certain forms of domination end through your words or through your art. I feel like you wanted to make a statement, and you did. You did make a statement, pal number two, in your past life. But again, I feel like there was some form of repercussion. Yeah. Something about being shunned. So you could have lived in a society where if you did something, people shunned you, or if your family did something, or if you're connected to somebody who done something. That kind of energy. So maybe in this lifetime, you may feel like if something happens to somebody else, they want to include you in it, even if it doesn't have anything to do with you. That kind of energy, like people including you in stuff that has nothing to do with you. Mm. There's also something about power dynamics. And again, it makes me think about the hierarchy in which you were living in. So you could have challenged that hierarchy. And I feel that you do this in your current life. You challenge hierarchies and things that are unjust and unfair, especially the legal system. And the next card we have is the fifth house. So you definitely have some form of creativity. It's something about your creations and exposing something, because the fifth house is Leo energy. You were exposing something, and you may find yourself being drawn to like things that are more investigative. You could be a Scorpio, pal number one, because it's like you like to look at the things that are hidden in life, and you did this in your past life as well. So somebody here could really be into like history, archaeology, and just looking at things of the past or looking at antiques. But this is because you did a lot of this in your past life already. I feel like you, as well as you standing up for other people, it was like the love you had. So somebody could have been a hippie in their past life. And it's so crazy that I say that, because on this nature card, it literally says, where does it say that? It says it's time to unleash your inner hippie. So you could have been about peace. You could have been about peace, and that makes sense because we have the Libra card. So you were about peace and balance and fairness, and we talked about the legal system. So yeah, in your past life, you wanted to promote peace. And then I remember like the hippie movement and everything like that. And then it just changed, because STDs and everything like that started occurring. So people were trying to blame the movement. You could have been like sexually liberated in your past life as well. And in this lifetime, maybe you feel afraid to show that because of what happened in the past life. Take what resonates. But for others of you, if you find yourself sensual, like naturally, it's because in your past life you were liberated. The next card that we have is the Fool card. So it's like you wanted to have this new beginning. Like maybe you're somebody who you really love world peace, pal number one, and you got this from your past life. You like balance, you like fairness, you like for everybody to win. And while that's such a beautiful mindset, pal number one, a lot of people don't have that mindset. There are a lot of people who believe in hierarchies. They believe in this person is at the top, or this group of people is at the top, this group of people is at the bottom. That's how it should go. And that's not how it should go, but that's how it's been historically. And I feel that you were a person that wanted fairness and equality. That was a past life pattern for you. The next card that we have is the Emperor. So again, you challenged some type of status or some figure. You could have challenged some figure. It's giving me the energy of like, in my state, there's something where you can like write to like government officials. You can call them. You could have done something like that, or you could have protested. You could have protested in your past life. Yeah. You could have done something like that, or you could have been in the feminist movement. There's a lot with the 70s here. I've been getting that recently because even on Patreon, for my paid members in the ancestor messages, I was picking up like past life energy there in the 70s and 80s for sure. So, like Roe v. Wade, that kind of energy is coming through. Like, you were very much involved with like human rights, pal number one. So, you may find yourself drawn to that in this lifetime. The next card that we have is the High Priestess. So you were definitely in tune with your intuition. I don't know if you were like, there's something with music because I just got Jimi Hendrix. So yeah, you could have experimented with like mushrooms and stuff like that because I just keep on getting like that vibe. Okay. Even like ayahuasca, you could have done like spiritual things to reach a certain type of enlightenment. Take what resonates. There's so many different energies coming through here, pal number one, because I'm definitely picking up a hippie, a writer, an artist. Oh, I can't wait to get to the channel messages, but I think I just need to include some of this right now. Okay, so there's something about medieval times. You could have existed during medieval times, and you could have lived on a farm in your past life because there's something about cottagecore, that coquette kind of theme. And there's something about the Renaissance. So remember the Renaissance, it's two types of them because in your pile number one, the regular Renaissance. I'm not gonna call it the regular Renaissance, the art Renaissance, okay? The art Renaissance, and then the Harlem Renaissance. There's something about Renaissance energy, and Renaissance is like a change of something. So it's like in your past life, you were working to promote a change for humanity. That is a past life pattern. And Renaissances also represent like a renewed or a revival of something that's renewed, something that's revived and shifted and changed, but revived and altered in a way that's more beneficial for whoever's using it or for the audience. And you could have existed during the 14th and 16th century. I'm picking that up. Like, it's something like that Renaissance kind of energy. You existed during that period of time. And also the Harlem Renaissance, because the 1920s is very significant. That's why I brought up Billie Holiday. So somebody definitely could have made some music. It's that kind of energy, like blues music. Yeah, your music reflected the times. It reflected what was going on. And that is what blues music did. when it first came out, it was reflecting what was going on with people of color. So yeah, that is what happened in your past life. And then we have the Six of Swords. So it's like you left behind societal norms. So you did this by, maybe you lived off the grid. Again, if you were a hippie, you left behind something. Or it's given this energy of Josephine Baker, because she moved to France. So you could have done something like that, where you moved to another country or another location. You left where you were because of some form of oppression. You may find yourself like, it's easy for you to leave things that don't serve you, pile number one, because you don't like injustice. So you may be the type that's like, you know what, if this friendship ain't working, this job ain't working, I'm leaving. So that's a positive pattern from your past life, the ability to detach and let go of things that are not for you. Then we have no judgment. So yeah, like you cared about the welfare of other people and people having human rights. You didn't have judgment. And it's like, that gives that kind of hippie energy of like embracing things, embracing ourselves as we are, and not placing judgments, because these judgments are societal judgments. And you know what's coming through, pal number one? The movie is called They Live. It's a great movie. If you've ever seen it, it's really good. It's basically like talking about what we're talking about. And in the movie, I'm not going to do the spoilers if you haven't seen it, but in the movie, the main character gets these sunglasses, and they're not just ordinary sunglasses. They're sunglasses that help you see the truth of society and the world. And whenever he puts these sunglasses on, he can see what the billboard actually says. So if the billboard says, oh, you should go on this trip, have fun, he put on the glasses, and the billboard now says reproduce, spend money, change yourself, all these things, right? And as I'm saying that, I literally just seen like a white butterfly outside my window. So that's just spirit confirming this for us. And then there's a butterfly right here. So you were representing change and transformation. That was a pattern in your past life that you've brought into this life. So you may be very good at creating movements and getting people to understand and care about society. You have a lot of confidence in creating movements and speaking up for other people, speaking up for the underdog because you know it's not right. Then we have no need to do. So you don't follow. Every time I get this card, it's like, it gives like you don't follow social norms. You didn't follow social norms. I feel like you were very unconventional in your past life, and you brought that into this past life. So a lot of Aquarius energy here. It's like you embracing yourself authentically. You could have even been somebody in your past life where you didn't like wear makeup, or like you were very natural. It's that kind of energy, connecting with nature, that energy. And the lesson in this past life for you, pad number one, was not to allow yourself to be silenced and to speak up regardless of how people view you or how they feel, because right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. And I know right and wrong are subjective, but when it comes to a person's humanity, like, going against that is wrong. So in this lifetime, you may find yourself like maybe hesitant to speak up on things that you know are wrong, or you may find yourself like your words falling on deaf ears, or like people not understanding, because they're not thinking on the level that you're thinking of. Like, this is, I'm hearing spirit say, Christ consciousness. It's just another level that a lot of people weren't on. So that's why I feel like in your past life you felt different, you felt weird, because you felt like, I'm the only one who cares when everybody else doesn't. You could have even been the type that was like, what are they putting in our food? So very much ahead of your time, pal number one. you know and in this lifetime, you may be somebody who you you may prefer organic products, or you look at like, what's the ingredients, like, let me make sure I'm using something that doesn't have animal products. You could be very connected to animals as well in this lifetime because of your connection with nature. Somebody could have been indigenous in their past life as well, because I'm seeing like a teepee and like horses and stuff like that. Yeah, because Pocahontas just came through. Somebody could have lived during that time period of like the French and Indian War. Take what resonates. If you find yourself drawn to that, that's why. There's so many different energies and lifetimes here. So if you don't resonate with something, just pick another pile. It's okay. But yeah, pile number one, those are your cards. So let us get into the channel messages. So I keep on hearing that Pretty Little Baby song. And then we have medieval times, Renaissance. You could have been an artist and your art was conflicting with the government overseas. Oh, I was also picking up somebody could have been in World War I, or World War II, or you actually could be alive right now and you did serve in that. For my people who watch me, because I do have some people who are like 65 and older who watch me. So if you are watching me and you're that age, then yeah, if you resonate, you resonate. There's something about selective mutism. So in this life, you may find yourself like you want to say something, but you don't know how to articulate it. So this is giving me like Saturn in the third house, or in the ninth house. It's like restricting how you speak or how you express yourself. Self expression may be like underdone in this lifetime. It's like you need to express yourself how you want, not how you think other people want you to be, pal number one. Because maybe you overshare to feel understood by people because you don't want to be misunderstood. But even in doing that oversharing, you're still not expressing yourself freely because you're trying to make sure people see it your way. Because no matter what you do, pal number one, people are going to have their own perception on something. So it's best to let them have it instead of trying to get people to see it exactly how you see it. They don't have your mindset. Okay. We talked about blues music, the 1920s. You could have even had some anxiety and fear in this current lifetime because of the past and not being able to express. And you may find that when you do try to speak up for stuff, people do try to suppress that or make it seem like it's not a big deal, or they minimize it or rationalize it. But Spirit is saying, don't let people do that. If there's some type of injustice, speak up, even if your voice shakes. There's a quote, I don't know who it's by, but it said, speak up even if your voice shakes, even if it's uncomfortable, because you're meant to express yourself in this life, pal number one. You did a lot of good deeds in your past life. Like you were very brave, and I understand it comes at a cost, but in this lifetime, you're resurrecting, okay? You're resurrecting that energy and using it for your highest good and to help the people who are here. This is a perfect time to utilize that kind of energy. You could have been able to draw or paint since you were a child. That's coming through. There's an energy of self-sabotage, and you may do that again because you're afraid to express. And I feel that Siberia could be significant. That was in the channel messages. 1491, the 1800s. There could have been a lot of head over heart decisions. There's something about love and relationships, so maybe there were a lot of on and off relationships for you. So you may find people that you feel really, really drawn to, and that's because you had a past life connection with them romantically. But yeah, there could have been some form of betrayal or trust issues. Because it makes me think about the Black Panther Party, and one of the leaders was betrayed by a person that pretended to be a supporter. Well, I think at first they were, and then they got recruited by a government official to basically like spill the tea and we're going to pay you or we're going to do this for you. And that person did that. It's that kind of energy where you were literally silenced. Like you could have been imprisoned, or experienced some other form of silencing, but yeah, because your silence won't protect you. Okay. That's a beautiful quote by the lovely Audre Lorde. Your silence will not protect you. And I'm also picking up Zora Neale Hurston. So like somebody here has to be a writer, or you were a writer in your past life, because there is a quote by Zora Neale Hurston, and she said, if you're silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. Okay, let me run that back. If you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Okay? That is truth. So in this lifetime, it's very important for you to speak up, not just like expressing yourself creatively, but just in mundane and day-to-day situations. You can tell somebody no, pile number one. You can tell somebody how you feel, even if they don't want to hear it, even if they feel like, no. You have a right to express how you feel, pile number one. Don't let people shut you down, because when you get in that pattern of always being shut down by people, they're gonna walk all over you and they're gonna know, like, okay, what can they say? Because I can just shut them down. No. They're not going to shut you down, pile number one. It's meant for you to express yourself. And with that Leo energy, you're meant to be in the spotlight in this lifetime, okay? Where the fifth house go? Because we just have that card. You're meant to be in the spotlight, okay? So that you can express, because you train for this lifetime that you're in right now, okay? So that you can express yourself. Because you could deal with like trust issues in this lifetime, but that's something that, you're going to have to work through, pile number one, because you're meant to, a lot of people are meant to see you, and you're meant to grace a lot of people's eyes. That's how Spirit said it, grace them, because you're graceful. You have this beautiful helping energy within you naturally. You want to see people do good. And Spirit is saying that it's important that you heal these trust issues so that you can trust yourself. Because when you make it a point that you don't trust other people, it starts from not trusting self, because you feel like, oh, well, I miss the signs. I can't trust myself. Like, we all sometimes get betrayed by somebody. Sometimes our heart, gets in the way. But that is okay, because we learned that lesson. And you have to forgive yourself. That was something coming through. Forgive yourself, pile number one. Stop holding things against yourself. You may do that in this lifetime, hold things deeply against yourself, but you're human. And you're going to have to learn how to give yourself more kindness, okay? But those are the past life patterns. I feel that it's just meant for you to speak up, honey, okay? It's meant for you to put some art out there or use your words creatively and help people, because you have a lot of knowledge within you. Your soul still has this knowledge. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, pal number one. We're gonna move on to my lovely pal number twos. Mwah. Peace. All right, pal number two. If you chose this reading, this is going to be for you. So we're going to be looking at your past life patterns, and we're going to be reading your channeled messages towards the very end. I might actually read them like halfway through, because there are certain like cards that I pulled that pertain to these channeled messages. And yeah, but also we're not just looking at like the past life patterns. We're looking at like what kind of energies you were in, the themes, who you could have been, and the life you could have lived. Okay. So number one for you, pal number two, I pick up this energy of wisdom. Wisdom, the theme of wisdom. I feel like you learned a lot of lessons in this life, and I feel like this is literally and figuratively, okay? And you could have been educated, oriented in this life. Education was something that was important, because we have everyone's a teacher. So you could have been a teacher. You may find yourself inclined to teach people things, or you know how to show people how to do things, take what resonates. But that's a past life pattern, like you were a teacher. But also I feel that a past life pattern for you is recognizing the red flags in people, pile number two. That is a strong theme for you, recognizing the red flags and wisdom. You get wisdom from looking at how people act, because there's something about you. You have this big heart. You have so much love to give, because I'm picking up an Aphrodite kind of energy. I wouldn't be surprised if you work with that goddess, or if you have a strong Venusian type of energy, or Neptunian or Pisces energy, because it's like you have a lot of love and compassion for people. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's something that people have misused in your past life, and you may find that people do it right now in this life. So there may be people who try to get over on you or use your kindness against you, because in our society, pal number two, let me tell you this, even if you may have your own philosophy, in our society, people see kindness as weakness. Okay? They do. Not all people, but the people that are manipulators, they do. Okay? And I feel that you could have had people take things from you. And I'm picking up Josephine Baker again, because I picked up her energy in pile number one. But the reason why I'm picking up Josephine Baker's energy is because she dated men or was with people that would take from her. That's that kind of energy. And she was famous. Okay. So you could have had some type of status in your past life, pile number two, because I'm picking that up, some type of status. But for others of you, it came from your family. You could have had a royal family or a family that was very well off or very stable, had a lot of money. Like you could have had an affluent family. That's what Spirit is saying, because you come from wealth. But I feel like that wasn't something you cared about or that you were happy about. I feel like you had a lot of people perplexed in your past life, pile number two, because it's like you have this and that, but you're not happy. But it's because of the people you had around you. You may have felt like it was people around you that you just couldn't trust, you know? So you may resonate with pile number one, but it's like this is a different kind of energy because it's like you had some form of status. I don't know why I'm hearing a mariachi band. That may resonate. That was very random, but you could have been the one in your past life, but it's something about timing too. Timing, like keeping the wrong people in your life, you know, for a long, extended part of time. They didn't need to be there. It's that kind of energy. Like certain people did not deserve you. And you may find yourself going through that in this lifetime. Like it's this energy of you being overqualified, pile number two, for people and situations and environments. Like you're very overqualified. Like you're high caliber. And the energy, I don't know why I'm picking up She-Ra 7, but I just want to say, like, you know how she talks about like Dusties? It's that kind of energy. So you could have been entertaining Dusties, honey. And it's like, hey, it's okay, because look, we've all had a phase of doing that, but we're doing better, okay? We're doing better. And in this past life, you gave a lot of love to people. And again, education was something that was very, very important. So if you find yourself like being drawn to like trivia or knowledge or facts or reading books or being in the library, it's because of your past life. Or if you have a degree right now, or if you're currently in school, or if you've graduated, or you're thinking about going back to school, okay, take what resonates. Education is very important. You don't even have to go to college. You can be self-taught, okay? Unless you want to pay back them student loans. But yeah, you taught yourself a lot of things and you taught people a lot of things. I'm picking up like a Jan Van Zant, a Jan Van Zant. So in this lifetime, you may find yourself being able to guide people because you went through these betrayals. You went through looking through rose-colored glasses, okay? That was a past life pattern of not seeing people for who they were, especially family, pile number two. And there's something about Princess Diana. And you know how she was in that royal family. So that is why I'm picking that energy up. The next card we have is vitality. So your health was very important to you. You could have had some type of health issue in your past life due to like heartbreak. So it could have been heart issues or, you know, something dealing with your health because this is about your vitality. There's something about you having a strong spirit though. A strong spirit despite certain health issues or anything. It's like you are very strong. Yeah, very strong. You could have even been like a boxer or something because the movie Rocky is coming up. Okay. You could have been an athlete too in your past life or a Viking because the movie Brave is coming up. You could have lived in that time period. Remember how she was? She was like literally a part of a royal family. Okay, that makes sense. And she was different. You could have came from like a family where everybody was the same. It was enmeshed, but you were the one who stood out. Pile number two, you were the one who was different. And you didn't want to live that life. Like think about in the Brave, the main character, she didn't want to be like super girly. So she was defying gender roles. So there's something that you did in the past life too that you defied gender roles because I'm picking up like Stonewall and stuff. And I've been picking that up a lot. A lot of history is coming through because history tends to repeat itself. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened again. But yeah, in the movie, she didn't want to be like a typical princess. She liked to shoot those bow and arrows, you know. Archery, is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? Archery? Yeah, archery. You could have been involved in that as well in your past life. And that makes me think about Sagittarius energy. So you wanted to be free. You wanted to have some form of freedom in your past life. You felt like you were trapped by the people around you because of what they believed and what they thought. Okay. And you may feel like that in this lifetime. Like you may feel like the black sheep of the family, pile number two. You may feel like you don't quite like fit in with the people around you because you have a different mindset and you have different beliefs. You could be like, for example, you could have a super, super Christian family, but you're spiritual, or you're Muslim, or you have a different type of religion, you know, or you could be Catholic and they're Christian. Take what resonates. It's something like that. Like even like Hinduism and Buddhism, like maybe you're trying to tap into the roots of your family or your ancestors, and your family is into like, I don't want to say like colonization, but you know how colonization came and changed everything. It's like they would rather stay stuck with, I'm hearing spirit say like the colonizers' religion and not their own, or not connecting with their own culture. It's something like that here. You connect with your culture. Your ancestors may speak to you in this lifetime, pound number two. Okay, so the next card that we have for you is inspiration. So you use your voice in some way. So you may definitely resonate with pile number one. But you use your voice in some way because jazz music is coming through. So this could even be sounds. So maybe you used an instrument in your past life and you played the piano, the trumpet, the saxophone, the harp, the flute, you know, the trumpet, all of that. Because I'm picking up Louis Armstrong. Yeah, you could have used instruments in your past life as well. It's making me think about the movie Sinners. If you haven't seen it, go see it. So you remember that time period? It was the 1930s. You may have existed during that time period, but in particular, remember Sammy, and his father was a preacher, and it was like he did not want to live that lifestyle. He was different from his family. He wanted to be a musician. So it's that kind of energy here. You wanted to do something different from your family, and they weren't all in support of it. Okay. The next card that we have for you is Neptune. So it was like when it came to seeing the truth of people, it was hard for you to do that sometimes. And then it also makes me think about music. Okay, take what resonates. But with that Neptune card, it's like you had a lot of love, and it's like you put your faith in people. You had a lot of faith in people with this Neptune energy. But again, you could have had some spiritual gifts too, because that has transferred into this lifetime. I feel like you always had a strong intuition, but your heart would block it because you wanted to love people. You wanted to be around people. I feel like you could have been abandoned by your family in a past life, by number two, or you just felt like I'm around all these people, but I'm alone. You know, they're not supportive of me or they don't understand me. You were trying to seek like love, you know, you were trying to find that. And maybe you were looking, because I'm hearing spirit say looking for love in all the wrong places. You may find that pattern still playing out and you're trying to heal it. Because look, we have the Ace of Cups. You definitely had a lot of love. You're open to love. You love, pound number two, and there's nothing wrong with that. You might find yourself being like a hopeless romantic, but you don't have to be in that energy of feeling like the love you want, you can never have. You can have it, pound number two. You just have to be the person that you want to attract. Write down what you want in a relationship, and then make a list of what you don't want. And then crumple up the list of what you don't want and look at what you do want. Okay, because I feel like that's intentional. Even through crumpling that up, you're saying, I don't want this. I'm throwing this out, this energy out. What I used to tolerate, I don't want that. This is what I want. And if they don't match that criteria, they're not the one for you. Okay, period. All right, so the next card that we have for you is the Five of Pentacles. So you felt alone in your family. You may still feel like that sometimes, but let me tell you something. A lot of the times, your blood family, they're not going to be people you deeply connect with. You're always most likely going to connect with strangers or friends. And you may have a few family members, because for me, it was my grandma. So you may have a few family members, okay? A few. And then there's a butterfly outside my window. So that also, a white butterfly came through in pile number one. So you may resonate again. Take what resonates. It's so pretty. But yeah, it's like you may have been like, I'm hearing like written out of the will. It was like pushed out by yourself with that Five of Pentacles energy. And that is why you were searching for love in all the wrong places. But I feel like you had some type of status, pile number two. The same as pal number one did. It's something about you being a musician. You made it though, because I'm hearing spirit say, you got it out the mud, rags to riches here. Pal number two, you experienced that in your lifetime. But it's given like you didn't trust the right people. It's like you knew something was off, but you didn't think that you didn't think that what you were picking up on was right. Like you had a lot of doubt in what you were feeling, because I feel like you were gaslit a lot. Like when people, you would be like, "Hey, is this something going on? Are we cool?" And people would be like, "Yeah," but the whole time they're plotting on you. So I feel that in a past life, people gaslighted you, and in this lifetime, you could go through that as well. Like you pick up on stuff from people, and they tell you that it's nothing wrong, and then they come back and say, "I actually felt like this." Like let me give you an example. I remember one time I had a friend that she just started acting weird, and like she wouldn't talk to me, she wouldn't message me, or she would act dry with the messages. She wouldn't like my pictures on social media because we had each other on Instagram. And I'll never forget this. Like she would always watch my story but never respond to it. And then one day I was just like, I feel like that's giving monitoring spirit, and we don't talk anyway, so I removed her, right? And then the next day, I woke up in the morning to a text message like, "Why did you remove me?" And it's like, "How would you know I removed you?" I mean, I guess she had the app or whatever, because they have an app that it'll show you like who unfollowed you and who's on your page. But it was just like, why is it so serious when you're not even supportive of me anyway? And then we start talking more, and she was like, the reason why I'm acting this way is because you're intimidating to me. I've never been intimidated by anybody. And I still tried to have a friendship with her, and she still acted weird. And it was like she already showed me who she was. So, pal number two, I feel that same energy for you. It's like people will show you who they are, but you have to believe them. I know you have a lot of faith in people and you want people to be good people. I do too. But it's like that's not in their nature. If they don't want to be like that, they're not going to be like that. They're going to be who they're programmed to be. Okay. So, pile number two, in a past life, it's like you put a lot of faith into people. You didn't see people for who they were. And in this lifetime, you may find yourself just giving people the benefit of the doubt when they don't deserve it. So, spirit, in this lifetime, spirit wants you to be a little bit more skeptical of people. Like, yeah, they saying all of that, but what actions do they have to back all of that up? What do they say about other people? How do they handle conflict? Like, spirit wants you to start looking at people deeper. I know you want to connect and you just want to love on people, but look at the person you're connecting to. Look at them more as a spirit. Instead of looking at titles like mom and dad or friend or coworker, look at the spirit. What kind of energy is that person presenting to you? I feel that there was a rags to riches moment because we had the Eight of Wands. So it was like you were able to pull yourself out of that energy, though. You were able to pull yourself out of that Five of Pentacles, out of that energy of lack. And you had money. But you know what I'm picking up? You had a lot, but nobody to share it with. You know? So you could have lived a life where you were paranoid of people taking from you, or just not trusting people and not being able to fully love or fully laugh with people because you don't know if they're trying to steal from you or what. It was a very stressful lifetime because you didn't feel like you could trust people. But I feel like your art and your creations, that brought you a lot of solace. Okay, whatever you used to do, like art wise here, because it's art here too. It brought you a lot of solace because we're picking up energies of some type of individuality. You had a lot of individuality. And I feel like you asked people questions that they couldn't answer because you have such a beautiful, loving energy. I feel like you would ask, like, why are there people like, who you reminded me of, pal number two? Like Tupac. Okay. You could have been a Gemini or a very intellectual person. But something that Tupac was saying is like, why are people millionaires and his people on the street starving? Why y'all paying to get these churches fixed up? Is people on the street starving? It's that kind of energy. Like, what are y'all doing with all this money? And it's people starving. And I feel like that same argument could apply to Katy Perry. Like, you went into space not even for a whole day, and you used all that money for what? And it's people starving, and it's people that need to pay off student loans, and it's people that need it. And I'm not saying that we're entitled to other people's money. It's just the way that people that have it can like use it irresponsibly and just not care. So I feel that you ask those kind of questions, pile number two. And it could have made you feel like people could have made you feel like, why do you care about that kind of stuff? Or you're too sensitive. You may feel like people make you feel like you're too sensitive, but you're really tapped in, pile number two. You are highly tapped in. The next card that we have for you is the Queen of Swords. So I feel like after a period of heartbreak in your past life, pal number two, you started to put up more boundaries with the Queen of, I almost said Queen of Wands. Okay. So you had a Queen of Wands kind of energy. That is a fiery kind of energy, but also spiritual. With the Queen of Swords being here, it makes me think about the royal family again, something with the royal family, having a rich family in your past life. But I feel like people made you feel like, no, you can't say that. There's something about censorship. Censorship. That's what I was picking up in pound number one as well. So you may find yourself censoring yourself, like subconsciously, pound number two, when you want to express something, or other people may try to censor you for how you express, or the way that you live your life, or the music you listen to as well. So then we have the Taurus and the second house. So the second house is Taurus. So you had wealth in your past life. So you may find in this lifetime that it's two things, because you could have Saturn and Taurus. So it may be you have to learn new ways to make money in this lifetime, or it's very easy for you to make money. It's very, very easy. And I feel like it's a half and half thing here. I feel like those of you who feel like it's harder for you, I feel like the more that you find like your niche and your craft, it's going to be easier for you to make money. And it's also a mindset thing. So maybe you were born into a family that it's not a lot of money there, or there's not a lot of generational wealth, because that's what a royal family is. It's generational wealth passed down because they can keep it in the family. And in this lifetime, you're meant to make money on your own terms. Nobody can control it. So maybe in a past life, it was like other people controlling your money. It makes me think about TLC, when they weren't getting paid what they were supposed to, but they're touring and they're making these music videos and these songs and they're putting in this work, but they're not being properly compensated. You could have had an experience like that where you were not properly compensated in your past life, or you may find that that could happen to you in this lifetime, where people don't pay you your worth for something, or they're not clearly seeing your worth. Okay. And then there could have been times in your past life where you didn't see your worth. So issues of self-worth may present themselves in this lifetime, learning your value and truly being able to appreciate yourself. I know this is very long, but this was coming through. So Virgo energy, I feel that you could have been very critical of yourself in a past life, or you feel like other people criticize your beliefs or what you thought because they didn't understand. Maybe it was this energy of like everybody in the group agrees with something except for you, pal number one. So that could have been you have to stand alone with the Five of Pentacles. So you may find yourself in this lifetime, pal number two, you may feel like a lot of times you have the unpopular opinion, but a lot of the times it's just about morality. A lot of people don't care about morals and values. They care about clout and money and things that are worldly. You're not of this world, pal number two. Period. Then we have the Nine of Swords. So you could have dealt with just a lot of anxiety, just feeling trapped, feeling like you can't do what you want to do. And even if you got to experience, like, I feel like your mental health was affected in the past life just because of how you were treated, just constantly being betrayed. And because I feel like you literally came to people with good energy, pound number two. I don't think that you were trying to hurt people, but it's this energy of like people trying to take advantage of you and you becoming paranoid with the Nine of Swords, feeling like you can't trust people, you know? Then we have the King of Wands. And then I said the Queen of Wands earlier, so there could be some type of androgynous kind of energy as well. You may find yourself like a tomboy in this lifetime if you're a woman watching, or if you're non-binary, it's like you prefer a masculine kind of look, and if you're a man, it's like it's the same kind of energy. You're in your masculine energy, or you could be in your feminine. Take what resonates. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And then we have Aries. So In your past life, it was like you were determined to do something different. And I feel like you were determined to be an individual because Aries focuses on self. You were determined to be an individual because you come from a family or just a past life where people feel like they have to do things, based off of what everybody else is doing, what the group is doing, or what the family thinks. But you were honoring yourself. And I feel like that's a positive that has come from that past life. Like, you still will honor yourself, pal number two. Like, no matter what people say, like, you're still an individual. You're still going to be yourself. Even if people talk and laugh, it's like you're yourself because this is what people do. They talk about you, judge you, and then try to turn around and be just like you. So you understand that. And I feel like your soul, you understand that on a soul level. Yeah. You don't mind being an individual. It's just you have to be very mindful of the company you keep, pal number two. That's your message here, of the company you keep, because with the kind of light you have, with the kind of energy you have, people want to come around and siphon it, and you can't allow that because options is here. So you're very multifaceted. You have multiple talents, multiple gifts. You could be a jack of all trades, but you could do multiple things that could make you some form of income. You could have multiple streams of income in this lifetime, okay, because of your gifts. And Spirit is saying that it's something that you need to honor. Don't feel bad about who you are and the gifts you possess. You have them for a reason, pal number two. You have them for a reason. And it's a beautiful thing to have. It's something about your diet as well. So maybe in a past life you had to eat a certain way that you didn't want to eat, or you ate a certain way, or there's a certain food you like. You may like foods from different cultures, but it's because in your past life you could have been that culture. So somebody here could really love Mexican food, or you could really love Indian food, or Chinese food. But that's because whatever food it is, that's letting you know what culture or energies you were connected to in your past life. Somebody here could really like to drink coffee as well, or tea. Take what resonates. Could have had a coffee shop in your past life, or some type of cafe. But yeah, those were the messages. And the main lesson from your past life that has come into this life, pal number two, is to trust your instincts, trust what you feel about people. And I understand you crave connection and you want to love on people, but it's like Spirit is saying, like, talk less and listen more. Like, what do you learn from people? Because that's going to determine, like, because Spirit is saying, like, everybody is not worthy of what you have to give. Everybody is not. Like, when you have a Neptunian kind of energy, especially if you have Neptune in your 12th house or just very prominent Neptune placements, you want to give love to people, even if you can see that it's something wrong, or, something that they're doing. It's like you want to help or fix. And Spirit is like, get out of that energy. You need people who are equally yoked, who are going to match you. You could have had a lot of unrequited love and one-sided connections, because I feel like broken people came to you, pal number two, because your energy is so healing. And they came to you and they siphoned your energy and used it to get better. So in this lifetime, Spirit is like, don't let people do that. And if it's some people who's done that, go ahead and call your power back, honey. Go ahead and call your power back. Go ahead and cut those cords. Go ahead and pour into yourself so that you are embodying your energy in its fullest form. Okay. So let's read your channel messages. So I was picking up Indonesia, Peru, Argentina, Chile, Portugal and Spain, France, Southeast Asia, and Hawaii, but it's pronounced Hawaii. I learned that recently, that it's Hawaii. Jamaica. It's something about the Caribbean, South Africa, Lebanon, Syria, Greece, New Mexico, Pittsburgh, Cairo, and then the UK. Okay, so take what resonates. You may actually live in those places now, but if not, this was your past life energy. There's something about luxury. The California, Los Angeles, California is significant. There's something about your individuality threatening people who wanted to control you. And then the song Normal Girl by SZA. So you could have felt like you were on the platform you didn't want to be on, or something like that. Or the platform you did have, people didn't see you in the way that you wanted to. So it's giving me like a Marilyn Monroe vibe, because it's like she was such a beautiful soul, but people just only saw her for her looks. They didn't see her intellect and what else she possessed inside, okay? You could have been an actress or an actor in your past life as well. We talked about the teacher. You could have been a doctor, a dentist, or you could have worked in the health field, something with health. And we talked about traditional medicine in pile number one, so you may resonate. So there's something about you in speeches, speaking to people, something with the presidents of the United States. We talked about somebody being a preacher. So somebody in your family could have been a preacher, or you may be inclined to give people like spiritual messages. So your own form of preaching. Yeah, you're very compassionate. You brought that energy. You're very abundant as well. And it's something that you have to protect because in the notes it says envious people. So you dealt with envious people, people jealous of your light, pile number two. And in this lifetime, Spirit wants you to cut those connections, cut off those people whenever you get a feeling that somebody feels some type of way, distance yourself. Because sometimes we may interpret something and it's not accurate. It's not accurate, but whenever you keep on seeing a recurring pattern with somebody, believe patterns. Believe patterns, honey. Believe a pattern, okay? But you helped a lot of people in need. You were an advisor. Those are the positive patterns you pull from that past lifetime. There's something about this song, Due West. I gotta put the artist. I'll link this in the description. And then there's something about jazz music. You could have been a man in your past life as well. Take what resonates. Especially if you're not a man right now or you don't identify as a man. But yeah, Spirit just wants you to be a little bit more skeptical of people in this lifetime. Like, don't just give to even the things that you invest your money in. Like, think about the businesses you go to. Think about the classes and the webinars and things you sign up for. Like, is this person a good person? Even influencers you follow, like, because pile number two, you may be the kind of person that you follow people and then you find out that they're a fraud. That's why you have to keep your eyes open. Okay. I've been in that energy before, like really looking up to somebody and then finding out that they're not who they say they are. So it's that kind of energy here. Just be mindful of like putting people on a pedestal, pile number two. Okay. But those were your channeled messages. I really, really appreciate you coming to this reading. Thank you so much. Mwah. Peace. We're going to move on to pile number three. So pile number three, if you chose this reading, this is for you. I know this is pretty long, but hey, y'all asked for longer readings, right? All right. So pile number three, you have the gift of beauty, making things beautiful. And it's like your energy is just, it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. And you are a very advanced soul. You are you may be on your last lifetime, pound number three, but you are very advanced, okay? And there's a lot that your soul already knows because it's very different from the other piles, okay? Very different from the other piles. And I don't know if you're just here for fun, pound number three, but the energy that comes through is like, you know a lot already. Like, I I think your soul just likes to come down here to like volunteer and, you know, check on, like, you do research. Okay, so this is what I'm picking up. You do some kind of research. So you come down here to see what's going on and then go back and be like, this is what they're doing. This is how they're acting. You know, you could be like, you could have some type of status in the spirit world. You know, like you have something. Like, you know, you could be a part of some kind of council is what I'm picking up. Like the people that help people select their lifetime or work with the Akashic records. Very powerful energy here. So pile number three, we're going to be looking at past life patterns that you've brought into previous lifetimes into the current one, but we're also going to be looking at who you could have been and what you've done and the energies of that past life. And then we're going to get into your channeled messages at the end. All right. So with the first card being here for you, pile number three, we have pride, the energy of pride. So this is what I'm picking up, like you were a leader. You've brought the energy of leadership, and it's like you help people to love themselves and to have pride within themselves. So when I saw that pride, it made me think about Black pride and like the civil rights movement. So you could have been a very prominent leader or figure in that time period. And Also, it doesn't even have to just be black pride. It could be anything that help people to love themselves more, regardless of the culture. Okay, regardless of the culture, it was like you lived a lifetime where you help people to see the light within themselves and see the value within themselves and tap more into their roots or their culture here. That's something you could have done. You could have been a civil rights leader for real. Okay, some type of leader. Let's get more into these. Okay, so forgive me if I pause pile number 3. It's just I'm really trying to read these energies because even though I got all the cards and channel messages, it's like more things like to flow through. So I like to listen and slow down my brain because I think really fast and I talk really fast. So I have to slow down my brain so that it can come through properly. So if you hear me pause and just wait, okay? Be patient with me. Okay. So pile number 3. So we have this card called spontaneity. It's about things being spontaneous. So I feel that you had a lot of adventures in your past life. You may be the kind of person that's like, I feel like I should try this new restaurant, or I should go watch this new movie, or I should buy these new shoes. And then you find that it comes in handy for something. So you have a strong intuition that you brought from the previous life into this, but I feel like you know how to have fun and you know how to. That's why I said that in the beginning. I literally said that in the beginning. I said, you may be here just to have fun. So I feel like the human experience is fun for you, pile number 3, because you're so advanced. So you go through a lot of adventures, but I feel like you lead people down these adventures because your soul is advanced. You help other souls to advance. Okay. It's like I'm picking up Alice in Wonderland and falling down that rabbit hole. You bring people to these realizations. In your past life, you definitely were in a leadership role. You could have been a general in the army. There's a lot of green here. That's what's making me think. And then there's this tank. So yeah, you definitely could have been involved in the military, regardless of if it was the United States or not. You could have been involved in some type of militia or something like that. And you know what? I'm also picking up Red Tails. It's a movie called Red Tails. Let me look it up because I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It's something with planes. Red Tails. Yeah, it was a military unit. It was the Tuskegee Airmen. So you could have flown a plane in your past life. Take what resonates. The next card we have is power. So you have some type of power. You were in a leadership position and you help people to be empowered. You help people to affirm positive things to themselves. But if you were like a military general or something, it was like you help your soldiers to become stronger. It's something with coaching here. So maybe you want to be a life coach in this life, or you are a life coach because you were a leader. Then we have manifestation. So in your past life, you were able to conjure things towards you. You were able to bring things towards you. It's like if you wanted something, you were able to go do it. Your soul didn't have any like restrictions. Like you were able to you were able to move towards things. And it's not to say that you didn't have challenges in your past life, but I just pick up like a lot of ease, a lot of ease. Like, you know how you're a senior in high school and it just feels like more peaceful because you know it's your last year. That's what I'm picking up. This could be your last lifetime. Pile number 3. This is like your homecoming, okay? Because you are so powerful. You don't carry anything negative from the past life because in the other cards I was picking that up, but with you it's very different. Okay? Like, not to say that it's bad if you have negative patterns, because from our past lives, like a lot of us don't even remember it. Like you remember bits and pieces, but those patterns exist for us to be able to overcome them. Okay. So I'm not saying that, oh, the other piles, have negative patterns and yours doesn't. I'm not saying it like that. Okay. Pile number 3. And I want to reiterate that because I don't want somebody taking it the wrong way. I have a lot of people who take what I say the wrong way. So I like to clarify things. Okay. So yeah, there's not a lot of like harsh lessons. Let me put it that way. There's not a lot of harsh lessons. Pile number 3. And I'm hearing something about shining bright. It's this song. Hold on, let me write that down. It's this band. I have to write it down. There's something with the stars. Maybe you worked in like astronomy or you were an astronaut, but there's something with the stars. You may find yourself very drawn to astrology. You may find yourself very drawn to like astronomy and the constellations and the planets, things like that. You know what I'm hearing? Galileo. So, somebody could have been Galileo in their past life, or you could have been studying the sun and the planets during that time period. But I have to look up that song. Hold on. I found it. It's this song by Echo Smith called Bright. So they have another song I like. I think it's Cool Kids. But yeah, I like that band. Okay, Bright. It's something about you shining bright, okay? You've always shown like shone bright, whatever. Sometimes like I say words and I'm saying like I know a lot of people can relate to this, but you know when you're trying to say something and it's like I said, you shine bright or you shone. I'm trying to say it from the past tense, but I said it weird, so just disregard that, okay? All right. So with the next card, look, we have the High Priestess. So didn't I tell you that you brought in some kind of intuition? I feel like that's what made you a good leader, especially if you were like a military person. It's like you knew when they were gonna attack. Pearl Harbor could be significant. And didn't I write down Japan for this file? Yup, Japan. And Japan bombed Pearl Harbor December 7th. Yeah. December 7th could be significant, or somebody here is a Sagittarius, or your birthday is December 7th. Take what resonates. But yeah, you have a lot of channel messages. You had, let me see, you have 4 pages. Okay. Okay, so the next card that we have for you is the Devil card. I feel like in your past lives, you had people that were in opposition to you. You had people that tried to shade you. I feel like everything always worked out in your favor because it was your mindset. It gives me the kind of energy of like how Jesus was, and Jesus was that person that was like vibing, sending out love, minding his business, right? And other people were upset at that. So you could have had people that were upset at the power you had and the influence you had, but I just feel like it didn't affect you though, because it's like you are a divine being. It's like you understand, like, I came here for a purpose. This is all temporary. This is not my entire identity. Like, I'm more than just this body, this name. Like, I'm a soul before anything. So with the Devil card, you definitely had people jealous of your life, people trying to come through and do stuff, but it didn't work because of the power you had. You could have even been a powerful sorcerer or somebody who did spell work. So if somebody tried to come towards you, it's like you had the tools and the magic to protect yourself. You may find yourself drawn to like hoodoo. You may find yourself drawn to magic, okay, in this lifetime, or like Santeria. You might be attracted to that, okay? I'm picking up Marie Laveau, yeah, or even voodoo. Okay, take what resonates because people are so scared of that, but it's literally a religion. Okay, do your research. All right. Okay, so the next card that we have is Jupiter, good fortune. So yeah, you were very loved in your past lives. Like people really loved you because you made changes happen for people. It's like you were easy to talk to. Like you're easy to how do I put this? You knew how to make negotiations real good. You knew how to help people. You could have been a really good lawyer as well. But it's something about you knowing how to negotiate. Like if you've seen the movie Sinners, because that came out in pound number 2, so you may resonate. But if you've seen the movie Sinners, remember the twins. And Stack was the one that was very charismatic, and he knew how to do a business deal smooth. You were the same way, pound number 3. Like you know how to do that. You may work very well in like sales, selling stuff. Pound number 3, real estate. Let me slow down because I'm stuttering. Okay, real estate. Um, anything involving sales. Whether you work at the mall or you work at a boutique or you have your own business here, you could be an entrepreneur, you have your own business, but it's like you're good at doing sales because you know how to conjure things naturally with or without spell work. Okay. And it's something about your energy that's just naturally open to manifestation. You know how to bring in things. Manifestation is very easy for you. And if it may be something that you're struggling with, pound number 3, then it's something that you need to tap in within yourself, because you literally have the key within yourself. Like everything you touch can turn to gold when you believe. It's like it's something about you believing in things. Maybe, if you do struggle with this, okay, if you feel like I don't resonate with that part, because everybody's different, you have to tap into it because it's already within you. Like spirit is saying you have this fountain of youth, something like that. Okay, so you could look younger than your age, pound number 3, or in your past lives, like you had a fountain of youth, or you worked with the youth. There's something with children maybe, or the youth, or like teenagers. You could be like a counselor for them, but you may have worked with them in your past life and you're doing it in this life. Take what resonates. Because Jupiter is also Sagittarius energy, and that's teaching. So I wouldn't be surprised if you taught in your past life or you're doing it now. Okay, this also came out in pound number 2. The next card that we have is Capricorn. You had some type of status or you were a leader. And it's every time I get this energy, it makes me think about the military. Because I know a person that's a Capricorn and they are very militant. And sometimes I'm like, sir, yes, sir, because of the stuff they say. And then they're like, quit playing. But yeah, they're very serious sometimes. Okay. So you could have been very serious in your past life, though. Like, you made sure to get stuff done, like very by the book as well. But you made changes happen for people. Like you have monumental, like Akashic records. Like you've done really good with your past lives. You know how a person would make like straight A's on their report card? It's like you've made straight A's with your past lives. Pound number 3, you've made straight A's with your past lives. That's why I told you I didn't really pick up anything heavy. Okay. And take what resonates, because some people may resonate with this, but also resonate with other piles. It's okay. Just listen to yourself, because you may come back and something else resonates. Okay. Because my readings are timeless. You just have to tap into what's meant for you. The next card that we have is the Page of Cups. So you may experience a theme, pile number 3, of people going against you and then they want to apologize. Because in your past life, you had people trying to go against you, but then when they saw the changes you were making and they seen how it was beneficial, they start trying to be nice to you. You could have haters who turn into fans very often, pile number 3, because some people that are insecure, when they see a person that shines so bright, it can make them feel some kind of way because they don't feel that within. But it's like them being around you, they start to see like, wow, this is a good person. Like, why am I hating on this person? And then they end up being inspired by you and they end up learning from you. Okay, that's the energy that's coming through. They end up learning from you. So you teach in some way, whether this is intentional or unintentional, pound number 3. But I feel like people are transformed. Like people who go against you, they get transformed and they end up like admiring you, or really, like, for some people they end up liking you as well. Take what resonates. Oh, we have the Hanged Man. Like, you always been able to see different things from different perspectives, but it's making me think that you literally are a divine being, pound number 3. You're advanced. Your soul knows things, and it's meant for you to tap into it into this lifetime. You know a lot. You may be listening to this like, girl, what are you talking about? But you know a lot. Okay, this is just unknown to you. Okay, that's why you may feel like, what are you, I ain't never felt like this. Listen, when you start tapping more into yourself, when you start diving deeper into meditation and journaling and just actually self-reflecting, your soul will give you the answers that you need. Because I've experienced this in my life. Like when I've actually asked questions and just been able to listen, I've gotten messages from my inner child, messages about certain things that have really brought profound healing into my life. So I know that if it's possible for me, it's possible for you, pound number 3. Okay. Just realize that, because I'm picking up somebody here is going to be doubting it. And for those of you who already know this and you understand, take what resonates. But I do pick up, we have some people who doubt themselves, but it's like, you're so damn powerful. Okay. Queen of Pentacles, we talked about somebody being an entrepreneur, having a business, money. I feel that in your past life you had money, but you shared your money. You could be a philanthropist, or you're the kind of person that you like to give money away. Okay, you have a lot to share with people. I feel like you were fair in your past life, and you are now. That's the pattern that you brought. You're very introspective, you teach, you brought those patterns into this lifetime. You're very stable. You bring stability to places. It's like you're meant to do that. You go here and you bring stability. You go here and you bring stability, and then you leave, and then it's stable for a long time because of you. Because of what you started. You know those buildings, and it's like it'll say like EST 1800 or EST, or even like products you go to the grocery store and buy, and it's like that EST stands for like cents. So you could have crafted something and it's been there ever since. Okay, that's what I'm picking up. We have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. So you were very thought provoking, and I feel like you still are very thought provoking. You make very good points, or you may be very good at like communication. I was getting that through all the piles. So it's something about this energy, or my collective in particular, using their voice, healing their voice. I feel like it's everybody. The throat chakra's healing. Then we have Mars. So you could have been a fighter in your past life, or you had some type of connection to wars and strategy. So you may find yourself being good, like literally being good at like games that require war or strategy. So like checkers and stuff. I mean, not, what does they say? You playing chess, not checkers. Yeah, you could be good at playing chess in this lifetime, or you're just very strategic. Okay, you'll make a really good manager or a boss. Pound number three, if you're not already. But in your past life, you had that fighter spirit. That's what helped you be able to get towards people who have this devil energy towards you. You just knew, you always had a spiritual awareness that, okay, if this person feel like this towards me, I know that it's not about me. So you know how Jesus was. Jesus knew certain people were going to betray him and understood and didn't take it personal. So it's that kind of energy here where it's like your soul had a lot of knowledge on situations. It's like your soul was less concerned about what people thought and having connections with them. It was about, how can I get humanity to advance? How can I get people the respect or the resources that they need, or the support that they need? That was what you were doing in your past lives, and you did really good. Because Spirit is showing me your spiritual report card, honey. Straight A's. All right. The next card that we have is the South Node. So this is the past life energy anyway. So I feel that in your South Node, you were very much for the people. But in this lifetime, Spirit wants you to have fun. And you know how when it's your senior year, it's like you do all these fun things. It's because it's your last year. That's what Spirit is telling you. Like, enjoy your life, because you're a divine being. You probably don't want to incarnate again. You probably listen to this like, I'm glad, because these humans, I hadn't had enough. But for others of you, take what resonates. But yeah, I feel that just because the South Node came out, it's letting me know like you have an awareness already. It's innate. You have innate wisdom. Pound number three, meaning that it's within you. Like, it's just good energy here. Like, really. Pound number three. Okay, let's see. Let's see. You have a lot of Scorpio and eighth house energy, so you know how to transform things. You literally could be an alchemist, or again, somebody that conjures or works with magic, because you know how to transform. And that's something that you've brought into this lifetime. So you may not be, how people feel like they have to get initiated into like hoodoo or like certain things. You may not have to do that, okay? Especially if you're a person of color. You may not have to do that because it's already within your soul or your spirit, or you could have had a incarnation where you were already a person of color, but you wanted to do it again, okay? Because there's something about ancestors as well. You help bring major changes. The goddess Kali could be very significant because it's making me think about like destruction and creating that destruction so that something better could happen. So you could have like led like upheavals. Power number three. I'm hearing like the Dred Scott decision. So take what resonates. Because with the Dred Scott decision, That was a black man that he was suing somebody for something. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, he was suing somebody in an 1857 Supreme Court case, and it stated that enslaved people were not citizens and could not sue in federal court. And I believe this happened in Missouri, so you could have had a past life in Missouri. But with Dred Scott being able to speak up like this and challenge them like this at a time like that, he was very, very brave. So again, it just reiterates your soul and the power of your soul and how brave you were to take on certain challenges and to transform that. He transformed it to where people of color can sue people and have a right. So take what resonates here. Okay, with the last few cards, we have joy. So in this lifetime, pile number 3, you're meant to cultivate joy. You're meant to be happy. Like, yes, you can work and help people and shift, but this lifetime is about you. And it's not saying be completely selfish and self-absorbed. It's saying, like, put yourself first at times. Like, what do you need? What are your needs? Or what are your gifts that you want to shine and bring through? Because you have bright here. You shine bright already, okay? So they want you to enjoy this life and have fun and laugh and live in the present moment and not take it too seriously. You've already done that before, okay? Because I'm hearing Spirit say, take it the easy way. So you don't have to do all of that. And I feel like you lead by example, okay? Live the way you live your life is healing because it shows people that they could do the same thing. You definitely could be an influencer if you wanted to, pound number 3. The next card we have is clarity. So in this lifetime, it's important for you to listen to yourself. Self is very important because you've done for people so much. You've spent a lot of your lifetimes, maybe even sacrificing yourself for other people for the greater good. But Spirit is like, that's amazing, but baby girl, baby boy, whatever your gender is, okay? Whether you're non-binary, Spirit is saying, it's time for you to listen to you. What is your soul wanting to do in this lifetime? What is your soul wanting to express? Because you're very helpful. You're very good at getting people out of like tough situations, problem solving, and making an impact, making a statement. But in this lifetime, what are you going to do for you? What are you going to do for self? Somebody may really like oranges because this image is so cute. It's an orange peel in itself. Okay, and the last card we have is communication. So your words were very powerful. I feel like it really touched people. You could have been a person that read speeches. Okay. But yeah, I feel that this communication is not only like, I feel like it's spiritual. Like you receive a lot of downloads from spirit in your past life. You could be a psychic here or a tarot reader watching this, but it's like you deliver messages from people, channeled messages. So you could have had a past life where you were an authority figure because, like, from what I learned in my history classes, like, way, way back when in ancient cultures, if you had some type of spiritual gift, like you were highly revered. Like I feel like in 2025, people try to treat it as like hocus pocus or a fad. Like, oh, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. But back in the day, if you presented some type of spiritual gift, like you were a leader. You were seen as like up there, basically. Okay. So with this communication card, is letting me know you used to get downloads from spirit, and it's purple, so it's letting me know like these came directly through your crown chakra. You got a lot of messages to give to people, and these messages were healing and they helped people because God was speaking through you, pal number 3. Okay. And I also feel like in this lifetime, your body speaks to you. So just listen and slow down sometimes because you may find yourself being a workaholic, pound number 3, or you may find yourself wanting to be a leader and help people and take on so much. But Spirit is saying, create a balance. Like, yes, you can help people, but do something for yourself too. Do something for yourself first because you have to pour into yourself and help yourself before you can fully do for anybody else. Be mindful of not being a martyr as well. That's what Spirit is saying. You don't have to be a martyr. You don't always have to sacrifice your needs or your resources for somebody else. Like some people have to learn on their own or get it on their own. Okay. That's what Spirit's saying. So now let's get into your channel messages. So, pile number 3, I got like Harriet Tubman. So, you literally could have been Harriet Tubman or like the energy of Harriet Tubman, because a lot of people debate if she was actually real or not. But it's this energy of like you freeing people from something, okay? Because Harriet Tubman was freeing people from slavery in the Underground Railroad. Okay, so trains could even be significant here. The railroad could be significant, but the military, general. I was picking up jewelry, fashion, and makeup. So in your past life, you could have been skilled in that. Because the movie The Devil Wears Prada is coming through for you. Something about the arts, because it's making me think about that show called Victorious. And remember that school was like a school of arts. So you were definitely good at art or music, whatever the case may be. I'm picking up a song by Ariana Grande called Seven Rings. Okay. Chicago may be significant. There's something about you also having community centers. So you were a leader, you had some type of authority. So you could have had community centers and something with you working with the youth in your past life. Cause it's like if you've seen The Shy, remember when they have that community center? It's something like that. If you've seen that show called The Shy, I think it's on Hulu. If you want to watch it. Could have been a guidance counselor as well. There's something about the Black Panther Party and civil rights. I think I talked about that in another pile as well. So you may resonate. Okay, your soul is very advanced. And with that pride energy, you could have been a person that had pride for your culture, your country, or the cause that you were doing, because Spirit is bringing up a Peace Corps. So that time period is very significant. There's something about the Haitian Revolution. You may actually be from Haiti or be Haitian, take what resonates. But if not, if you find yourself drawn to like Haitian culture, that's why. You could have traveled for work a lot in your past life. So you may find yourself liking to have different jobs or liking to do different things because your soul has done so many things. Okay. Standing up for others is something you do well. You could have had a business or a family business in your past life, or this is something that you're doing in this lifetime, which will be lucrative for you. We already talked about Japan. You have some psychic abilities, and you could have had some status in your past life, but you're going to have it in this life too. Your north node could be in your fifth house or your fourth house, or your south node could be in your 11th or your 10th. Okay, take what resonates. There was something with Egypt coming up. You may have an affinity to that or a connection, because I was picking up Anunnaki and the Emerald tablets and things like that. Okay, let's see. And then shooting stars, we talked about shooting stars. Well, it makes me I want to mention this. So when I did my research on Sarah Bartman, I presented some research about her in the month of March. And I talked about Sarah Bartman from a different perspective. I talked about her culture and little things about the culture and just their religion and their history, because people tend to focus more on her subjugation and not the life she lived before she was in that subjugation. So if you don't know who Sarah Bartman is, she is the woman that was paraded around like a zoo animal by these two crazy ass men, okay? And they were getting money off of her. And basically, Sarah Bartman is a part of the Khoikhoi tribe, right? And in their culture, it's an oral tradition. And people try to justify Sarah going with them because they're like, oh, she signed a contract. How can she sign the contract if her culture is mostly oral? And if you don't know what that is, it means that they tell each other things. They don't write things down. They don't have written documents. Okay. So I talked about her from a different standpoint. And what I really loved was their spirituality. And there was something where there was a girl, there's a legend of a little girl, and like it's something with the stars, and it's making me think about that. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's been a minute since I presented that research, but it's something about the stars and like how. Let me look at my notes because I have it. Okay, I found it. So what I loved about their culture is the spiritual part of it. So there's a unique story of the creation of the Milky Way. The story is that a young girl was upset at her mother for not giving her like some type of snack. Something like it's something that you roast, and she decided to grab the ashes from the fire and throw them into the sky, and then that's how the stars were created. So I just wanted to mention that because that was just so interesting to me, like the culture, um, and just how like a lot of people don't even know that like Sarah Bartman's culture, the Khoikhoi tribe, they were matrilineal, meaning that women had more power in that kind of society than men did. So the irony is that Sarah Bartman came from an environment where women had power to where it was stripped away from her later on in life. Okay. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but I love history so much, y'all. I really do. And I will be presenting topics like that on my other channel, Bell Book and Meditation. Go ahead and subscribe because I really think it's important to look into history and look at things from a different perspective instead of the same old narrative about what has happened. Okay. So that was pretty much it. Pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in and being in this long reading. But again, it's what you all asked for. I really appreciate it. And I love just diving into these new topics. So let me know in the comments if there's a new topic you'd like to dive into. And yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah, peace. Until we meet again.